This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here today with a good old-fashioned, raw, unedited walk and talk vlog. And today, apparently, I have a very unpopular opinion amongst those in the field of alternative media. And that is, as you can tell by the title of this video, the fact that the intelligence asset, Julian Assange, has just completed his mission. Now, if you ask most people in alternative media what are their views on Julian Assange, most of them will tell you that this guy's a hero, you know, that he's a champion of free speech. And I think just the fact that the alternative media has embraced and trusted WikiLeaks as a source was done by design. And today in this video I'm going to explain how this was done, why this was done, and also where this might potentially go from here. Now, in case you didn't know, guys, WikiLeaks the website and Press for Truth the website started right around the very same time, back in 2006. It was June of 2006 that I started Press for Truth, and it was August of 2006 that WikiLeaks launched. But at that point I had been awake and doing research for a long time. I woke up, as we call it, in the late 90s, 1998. So from 1998 up until when I founded Press for Truth in 2006, I was a researcher turned activist who already had a really good grasp on how the New World Order operates, how the powers that ought not be utilize order out of chaos, and their modus operandi of problem, reaction, solution to carry certain events into their own desired direction. And back then, guys, in 2006, the alternative media was absolutely exploding. It was just growing at an exponential rate, and this posed a big problem for the powers that ought not be. And, you know, knowing they have this problem, which is they have the MSM, right? The mainstream media under their control, where they're pumping out various narratives to their desire. And some of that is now starting to be challenged. People are starting to question this. And there's the problem and the reaction, which is also part of the problem. So now they have to come up with a solution to this new growing problem. And for them, the best option is to control the opposition, to create the opposition, and to place one of their men at the top of that so as to be able to steer the alternative media into a direction that will never expose any real conspiracies, you know, by setting up this WikiLeaks funnel where if any real, true, revealing, and damaging secrets to the system are revealed there, they can be silenced and shut down before they ever see the light of day, you know. And that was the tactic with this website right from the very beginning. And, you know, for me, the red flags were going off left, right, and center when this guy, Julian Assange, in the very beginning made the bold and emphatic claim that there is no conspiracy with 9/11. In fact, he said 9/11 truthers are stupid and that we're just wasting our time by looking into this. This supposed international man of mystery here, who's leading this global organization that's allegedly exposing global conspiracies, buys into the 9/11 official narrative that has more holes in it than a piece of Swiss cheese. Give me a break, people. That was the first major red flag for me way back when I started looking into this guy. Secondly, he's being promoted all over the mainstream media. I'm surprised even to this day right now with the amount of coverage he's getting. This isn't, you know, a big red flag to the alternative media as well. But on top of all of this, let's consider the things that were actually being leaked, you know. For me, as I was looking into it, more and more of it felt like limited hangouts, like the Iraq war logs. I mean, everybody already knows that civilian casualties happen during wartime. And yes, even at the hands of US soldiers. This wasn't some big groundbreaking, reveal here. Yes, we now have video evidence that this is the case, but as I said, there's nothing groundbreaking. This is already known. There's no major expose taking place here with that particular leak. Look at the Hillary Clinton emails. Whatever came of any of that? Has she ever seen any time? Has anything ever come about this, or was it more of a limited hangout leak? Where there's emails where she says, couldn't we just drone this guy? I mean, seriously, that's obviously going to continue to, create this hero image of this guy. It's like if you are setting up controlled opposition and you want to present somebody as a legitimate activist, a tactic they often use is to, for example, to purposefully get arrested, and that gives them some sort of street cred among the very gullible alternative media, and that's essentially what's happening with those Hillary Clinton emails as well. So there hasn't really been any major revelations coming out of these, so-called leaks. And what we have here is a true alternative media who was seeking whistleblowers and hackers and leakers to send them information, and the powers that ought not be set up this funnel to ensure that was not going to happen. I mean, do you really think that the Department of Justice right now is just gonna lay down, hands down to this guy, just lay it over to him with this plea deal, right? By the way, which, if you think about it, if he's saying in the plea deal that he is guilty, what do you think that does to, in the minds of the masses who have been following this story for 15 years? They're not really totally into it, but they're aware of it. They've heard of this Assange guy and all this stuff, and now they hear that he's admitted to being guilty. Well, it just legitimizes it in the minds of the masses that the mainstream media is who is to be trusted, and that the alternative media is dangerous and untrustworthy. You see, this has been the plan ever since the beginning. And like I said, there's so many red flags when I started researching this back in, 2012 and earlier. Like, did you know that Julian Assange's father was a member of a New Age cult in Australia back in the late 70s and early 80s? I think they were called the Family. And they actually, one of their big things was giving psychedelic drugs to children. And I remember when I, was looking into that back then, it dawned on me that this guy very well could be an intelligence asset who has been groomed ever since being a young child. And if you don't think that the powers that ought not be and their intelligence communities operate in plans that are decades long, you're gravely mistaken, folks. That's exactly how they operate. And so I gotta say, I'm kind of shocked and surprised at the amount of promotion and support that this man is getting amongst those in the field of alternative media who can't see true, real controlled opposition when it presents itself. But that's the case going on here with WikiLeaks. And I'm afraid to say, but unfortunately, over the past 15 years, there probably could have been some really good WikiLeaks type websites that would have been set up by people in the movement, but they figured it's covered. That's already taken care of. We got our top guy on top of it. Our head of this thing, Julian Assange, is on top of it. And unfortunately, no real, websites exposing real, actual conspiracies like 9/11 have come since. So hopefully, people can start moving in the right direction and waking up to the COINTEL plan and the whole fact that the intelligence communities has been infiltrating the alternative media, ever since the JFK assassination, essentially. So it's just wild right now for me to see so many people not you know, seeing this for what it truly is. So I just wanted to bring this one to your attention today, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously it's all over the news right now. I jotted down a couple of notes about this. Let me just see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, the denying the 9/11 thing was pretty big for me. Everybody, you know, put him on a pedestal, him allegedly being in solitary confinement for like the last 5 years. Meanwhile, he's looking pretty fatted up and fine, and just this notion that Joe Biden now would just give in to this guy, and the Department of Justice would, you know, come up with a plea deal, to me is absolutely ridiculous. Here's your new hero of the mainstream alternative media, and that is Julian Assange. And as I said in the beginning of this video, this is a highly controversial opinion amongst those in the field of alternative media. So let me know what you think. Have you been seeing the same things since the very beginning? All these red flags popping up left, right, and center. Do you think the field of alternative media has been steered into a desired direction by the powers that ought not be, so as to ensure that real leaks, real whistleblowers don't expose any real legitimate conspiracies? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But I haven't said a whole lot about Julian Assange over the years because you know, it's a controversial view, but you have to understand how these things work. And I'm so surprised to see so many people in the alternative media not getting this. There are a few. There are a few who do understand and can see this for what it is, but most have bought it hook, line, and sinker. Let me know where you guys fall into this in the comment section below. Do you think he is a friend of freedom? Or do you think, as I do, that Julian Assange is an intelligence asset, always was, always will be, and he was placed there into the position of this controlled opposition so that the powers that ought not be could steer the alternative media into a direction that is not going to expose real conspiracies? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. If you do appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, which not a whole lot of other people are doing, please, you can check out my top link in the description, pressfortruth.ca/donate, if you want to support my efforts to continue to do this work. So that's all for today, guys. Just wanted to share my thoughts in a good old-fashioned, classic, raw, unedited walk and talk vlog. Once again, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, don't forget to click that link in the top of the description to where you can find me at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Don't forget to click that like button. Share this video with everybody in the field of alternative media who you think needs to see this the most. And stay tuned, my friends. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.